Hello everyone, this is Connor back with more Islanders New Shores. Just doing a second playthrough. See, I got about as many points from my first island as last time. But this was one of my starting options, lava. And I picked it because I saw this little ghost friend on the statue, or the tower, pardon. So, I think it is called the statue, yeah. Anyway, so I saw a ghost friend on the statue and thought, wouldn't it be cool to have an entire island with that in mind? And also, I have the fortune teller here, which earns more points based on the number of buildings currently in your building bar. So I don't know if that is 1 point per plus 9, because I have 3 buildings total. So is it 3 points per building in your building bar? Because if so, that is interesting. It means the fortune teller you want to hold as long as you can. But then place it before your building number decreases. Because over time you get more and more and more and more buildings, and then at some point it drops off. So you want to place the fortune teller at that apex, which is interesting. Interesting thought. Yeah, the whole island's going to be warped by this buddy being here the whole time. Because, like, to start out, I want to transfer him into this, and then, oh, I get one, wait, sorry about that, had a McAfee pop up. Okay, 1 point for other sand pits. So even if it's a minus score, it can still jump. That is quite interesting. So I was going to say, then you place this next. Maybe that's not the case. Because this is plus 3 per, and this is plus 4 per. And the spirit jumping is still just going to be 5 points. So I think And then get, was it 15 I just saw briefly? It's kind of wild. And then I place the brickyard itself, and the spirit jumps again. And then I need to get masons. I don't want lumber, although there are trees out here. It's just never going to come in touch with anything else. But I also maybe don't want brewing filling up this land. I guess I do take lumber. Still going to wait on mason if I can. 1, 2, 3, 6, 11. So is it plus 33? Okay, so it's just 3 points per numerical building that you're holding. 17 feels great. And I would love to have the spirit jumping, so I think in service of that, well, no matter what, I'm not going to be able to. Okay. Let's place one of these, and then this guy. And then Mason. Okay. Ooh, second city center. Cool. So let's jump the spirit into the Mason. That's stage 1. The Mason needs to be, I guess, here. And then jump it into a city center. And then from the city center, we can get it into a mansion. And now we are scoring points. I mostly just wanted to record this because this island type felt so unique, and having the wisp from the start is going to be a big change. I don't really want either of these. I guess I'll take brewing, but I'm just happy to get multiple mansions instead, honestly. Let's try and only place buildings that the wisp will jump into. and just assume that that is optimal. Oh, wait, I undid it, and I can still get the boon. Huh. That's not, like, super busted or anything. Ugh. There's some trees. I mean, can I double wisp a building? No. Can I jump 2 wisps into the same building? I wonder how this is going to work. 'Cause right now, yeah, it does seem like whichever wisp I'm close to is the one that I get, that I don't get both. That's unfortunate. I was hoping I could double up. Good to know, though. So I could have, like, 1 wisp in industry and 1 wisp in city. Get shamans. Try cutting off a lot of these lasers. I don't really have a solid long-term plan for what's happening here, especially now that I know the wisps are split. I thought that was going to be my tech, was jumping wisp to wisp for the rest of the game. It's like a 25-point swing to place that negative there. Just a lot. I guess I'll just place one of these just for its own high score. And then maybe the second one for... No, I'm going to do one here. And... one around here that isn't awful. There's a point around here where it turned yellow. Yeah, we'll take a 0. It might work eventually. And now I'm going to work on leading this spirit around here. I can use fountain to swap between mansion and house. It's just a lot of points to be +5 on everything. 72. So the question is, will I get through this in less than 6 buildings? Or is it time to place the fortune teller? I think fewer than 6 for sure. Yeah, this seems worth. Okay, now I'm getting 5, so I'll need to do... I think it's still worth it. Alright. Increase area. Next building pack. This could be a lot of points later in the game. I think I don't take either boon yet. This could be really high scoring, honestly. Okay. Let's start with a 15. And then over here, I'm going to pick up the ghost into a fountain and then move it back into a house. I have 2 boons to choose. Wow, I'm crushing it. So I guess the real question is, how long do I hold the point score one? But like, score area by 50% is not going to be 100 points, and pretty soon I'm going to be getting 100 points around, so it'll take 100 points to score around, that is. So I think the next time that I ping like just over it, I should go ahead and take the boon. Maybe not the next, but Alright, 5 draws. Will it take me less than 5 buildings to finish this? I believe so. Especially if my houses are 25 points. There can't be many of those left, but... Knowing this is the shape that's coming up, do I want to place that instead? No, because this is cool. Okay. So we'll do that, and then that seems good. 16 is so close to being good. There we go. Fortune teller value. That was fewer than 6. Hut. Okay. Once again, do I need fewer than 6 buildings to get 82 points? Fewer than 5 in this case? I think so. And I don't want to hold my boon for much longer. But surely a little bit can't hurt, right? Let's just do that. 1... 2... 3... Yeah. Okay, tower. Now, do I take a boon for 89 points? $89 is a lot of points. And that will get me immediately 4 more buildings, so the fortune teller gets a plus 12. And it's already worth 100 points. The tavern's 6 points. That might be worth waiting for. I think 89 is good enough. Oh. Oh, I get to hold it. Oh, wow. Okay, that's way better. Then cliff houses up here. They're going to get the shaman, and I have 1 mason. Yeah. Also, 4 more buildings is another 12 points on fortune teller. Do I take the level now? Ooh, that's interesting. Because it's basically, can I hit this close to the mark again? Can I get a bigger dose of points? The 12-point bonus on fortune teller. Am I at the point where fortune teller tips over? Like, do I need to place my fortune teller now, because getting 89 points with 4 buildings keeps me equal on fortune teller. It's not an advantage, it's just where I am now. And 89 points for 4 buildings, it's like 25 points each, more or less, 23. I think I do it now, and I place fortune teller. Two warehouses is nice. Okay, now the question is, now that I have 2 warehouses, do I do fortune teller? Do I wait for another boon that gives me plus 50% on fortune teller? Because getting a really big fortune teller also gets me double this score at the end of the island. Got to recall that too. So it does score off mansions. Which I'm thinking about in terms of capturing the spirit with the fortune teller. And then how do I get the spirit back out? Who scores off fortune tellers? So maybe I don't want to strand my spirit there, actually. I'm glad that I thought about that. I was totally about to just link my spirit over into it, and then I would not have been able to retrieve the wisp. Mansion does. Oh, okay. So then my next mansion can just reacquire the spirit. Place it right here. That does seem worthwhile. So it's 5 points each time, and I only lose 3 points by placing it. Fortune teller, also it's a net positive for me to place any building on this list that scores 3 points or more. So I should place the shaman first. I saw a 0 pointer around here. We take those. Yeah, because this is going to contribute to this area maintaining some score. $121. Okay, so the order of operations is mansion, and then fortune teller is base 102, collectively 124. Just 250 points on my actual final score. That's nice. And then when I next get a mansion, I can jump back out. Okay. So Cliff House is not counting houses is so strange to me. But is what it is. Might just be a balancing effort to try and constrain the almighty house. This house is a very, very powerful building. And that can be a problem in balancing. Ooh, wait, I get more? Wait. Ooh. Oof. Wow. I mean, okay, that is a choice. Powerful, powerful building. And definitely a, like, the rich get richer style of building. I would not say balanced. So far, at least, it is far and away the best, easiest, fastest points I've seen. Okay, so 3 draws. So if I can fill this up in less than 3 buildings, then I should. Otherwise, I should go ahead and place this, which I think is the case. 105. I've seen this 106, but the 105's placement might be better for me. Now let's just do that. 105 more points. No big deal. one circus. Yeah, already down to draw 2. They have decided to kill me, I see. So I can kind of consider that I'm not going to get many more buildings. Like, I can start making decisions as though these are my semi-final buildings. Trying to think about how to best chain the spirit around this area. So I think I do go ahead and place the mace in. So it would be 8 plus 2 on like maybe 2 or 3 houses, and plus 8 on the plateau. So it's like 18-ish points. Versus over here is 11, and then maybe 3 houses, so 17. So I think it's a little better placed over here for 8 points, or at least equivalent. And then, oh, can I go a little further? 7. Yeah, I'll do 7. That should be fine as well. Then whew. Narrow little space. Not great markets because I haven't placed my warehouses yet, but once I get these down, those markets are going to be pretty high scoring. This is a good island. $24 is plenty. So much stuff. So much stuff still to place. I guess let's come out here to the no man's land. Do some sawmill action. We got a 13 and a 13 up here. Yeah, I guess 16. I mean, that's a good score. And then can't really get out of the detection anyway, so we'll take a 9. One more plateau out here would go pretty hard. Maybe I hold out that dream. And if that's the case, then I could do parks. I'm trying to think how I get my last few points here. Might just be time to bust out these hops fields I've been holding. Yeah, placing it here seems like it's going to be an obvious winner, so I don't know where the second one's going yet. That's a problem for future me. And 17 to leave that little gap open. Hermitage. This is not going to be very good, if it's even placeable. And I'm getting 1 building per pack. Once it gets down to 1, that really is the game just telling you, like, hey, go ahead and move on. You're done. You're done. Like, getting 100 points from 1 building would be wild. Yeah, this may just not even be placeable. I'm not seeing anything. I need to start thinking in terms of this island dying. We are almost there. Let's get Brickyard. Okay, Brickyard there. Warehouse here. We've got all these parks as well. I'm just not exactly sure how to optimize this trajectory. Oh, let me intersperse parks and houses. That I actually do feel good about strategically. Oh, okay. So you can do a little bit of this clipping shenanigans like you could previously. Good to know. Okay, and then jump it back into a park, and then jump it back into a house. My one wall. There was something that I saw which scored off walls. I don't actually remember which building that was. Oh, cliff houses do. Yeah, and I can go like 26 or 25. And I wonder if I can... how difficult it is gonna be. Oh, okay, so this is 34, and I steal the Flame Spirit, and then getting a cliff house to that wall is going to be really challenging, though. I think I need another plateau if I actually want to get the spirit into these 4 cliff houses. So I guess right now I'm just good continuing to trade the spirit out here. I need wall plateaus. I don't actually know what the next best play is. I feel like it's not one of these high point buildings. But I do need to get this bad house shape out of the way. And I don't want to cover that area, so I guess I just place some crappy house, like, just out here in a spot where it's not going to do a lot of harm. Ugh, okay, having to do 2 is rough. Okay. And then surely there's... okay, there we go. Spirit moves into that. I don't think that'll jump into the market, is the only issue. But maybe I take it into a wall and then into the market? Does the market like walls? No. The wall does like markets. I have this spirit trapped over here still, which I need a mansion to pull out. But no, mansion will fit along there. This one might be trapped, actually. More and more complex. Every moment that I examine the game, I see new complexities. Okay. I mean, 38, even without the spirit, 38 points is a great building at this point. I've done nothing worth scoring. Yeah, I haven't placed any major buildings. That's interesting. Not yet. But I am running low on points. Yeah, I guess it is that time. And then back into here. Wow, that's actually hilarious that placing this, I thought it was like no big deal, even though I'd already unlocked the buildings, but I totally hosed myself. I could have placed the monument there for what it's worth. Well, it goes to show you, don't rush. Always take stock of your options before placing anything. I just need another plateau. Didn't have enough space here to do very much. I'll take a 26, and then the good cliff houses are like 11s or something. That's not very inspired. A few small buildings just to earn some circumstantial points. Wall plateau. Just the one. Okay, so the Hermitage is 21. Versus I can probably get a circus worth a little more than that. Yeah. 31. I feel like I do want to place this as far over to the right as I can to maybe get me closer to those city centers with like a last house or something. So right now my spirit is in a house right there. Because I can tower it? But what scores off tower? Cliff House does, and then does house score off Cliff House? No, but mansion does. Okay, so these cliff houses were probably a mistake. I should probably have towered first. Because the 5 points of the spirit is a lot. Like, +5 is substantial. Even without finding that sneaky 25 spot for the small cliff house. 21. 12, but it does touch the spirit. I want to place as far over this way as I can and still get the spirit, so it might be that 12. Yeah, we'll do that. I don't want to take too long just sitting with this, so. Just the one. Okay, so get like an easy 39 down there, or I can get 34 that moves the spirit. I think just the house doesn't, right? Yeah. Okay, so I think this is going to end up being stronger. I mean, 38. That's actually pretty good. And this water plateau doesn't contribute a lot of value yet. I mean, I can just place this here just to get more house space, but I believe I will die before I run out of house space. Once again, going to jump back and forth between the house and the park. Forced to take farming. It did give me 2 buildings. That's interesting. So even though the current draw is 1, if there are multiple styles of building, that's going to trump the other rule, and so you will end up getting multiple buildings, even though it said you're limited to 1. Yeah, I don't think prioritizing the fields is going to be the way to go. I think I'll need to place that for points. So I already have a 55. And the kite doesn't care what order I place them. I don't think he cares about the water platform either. Okay. 55 on the ground, 55 up here. Every park is just +8, which seems like a very achievable benefit. Wish I could put this somewhere. The fish is just not going to be good, no matter what. I don't have enough big buildings. I think I do monument. I mean, kind of at this point, I'm just limping anyway, so it's not going to end up mattering too much, but that's no excuse to slack off. I love that just sadly drops 1 house into your inventory, refuses to elaborate. Okay, well, you know, 40 points is 40 points. And then I have... It's not going to get any better than 51. And similarly, this is not going to get better than 40, and I can't move on without placing it. A single park. Okay, 6-pointer, or I can use the trees, get 12. Twelve's not bad, we take those. Oh, I guess this is going to be 2 points anywhere, so I should actually use it to boost this to 13, and then I decided this is unplaceable. So it would have to be on the sand here, which I fully utilized. And that is a magma island with the starting wisp. Pretty good score. Okay, ta-da, I've done it. I am the highest ranking Islanders New Shores player. Can't say I'm surprised, not to brag, but does seem likely, right? That said, not a very far lead, so I might run a couple more runs back and just see. I think the island shape does quite a bit to influence points, and the boons swing things quite a bit. Sad that I can't show you more of this island, I guess. Well, I guess if I go photo mode. Yeah. So you can see this, my final score. This is the same run as that volcano that I just shared. So I have, like, up here I have a shrunken hermitage. I have a shrunken market tucked in there with the wall plateau on it. Got several neighborly city centers. Overall, pretty good island. I double copied the fortune teller. So you see there are 3 fortune tellers, one up near my industry, one on this island in the foreground, and one on the left, just short of that city center. Each of these were like 115 points, and there's so few building packs currently available, because a lot of the buildings aren't in the demo yet, I guess, that being locked to 1 didn't feel like a huge burden. So I just immediately used both of my copies, and I probably got 140 points from these. Sorry, I probably got 240 points from these, what I meant to say. And so 240 points for a boon seems enormous. Seems like that's worth so much more than a platform, worth so much more than a statue. So actually, my new frame of reference is that the bargain is the most valuable boon by probably a significant margin. I think even the Wisp would really struggle to get you 200 points. I mean, that's 40 building jumps. Doesn't seem reasonable. So I think maximizing bargains and just sort of taking the fact that you then are forced to take certain buildings. You're going to be playing out all the buildings anyway, so it doesn't make a huge difference. So yeah, this is what it looks like to be at the top of the leaderboard. Let's see if I can beat my own score. Okay, so I am 2 islands into a possible high score run here. And I have, for the first time, seen this stellar bonus. Add 2 extra boons to the score meter. That feels really powerful. I also like the fortune teller more than the terrace at this point. They're both pretty strong, though. So this seems like, as long as I don't get a terrible island shape, this seems like it might be my new high score run. You know, it's mid. I do have 5 boons around here, and I brought in a sealed boon. So I was kind of setting this up to be like a high score capable run. At least I have some flat ground. I'm just not going to be able to do much with fissures, or, you know, the land and the sea are so separated. I could just ignore the statue, just like build down here and be on the water as well, but I do feel like, well, we'll see. I want to get masons quickly, and I want to go ahead and grab the boon. I think the 15 points early and knowing what you have is going to be valuable. 15 points early because it just lets you start saving buildings from an even earlier point. Okay, so my tree industry will go down here. So I may as well consolidate, and then maybe I'll end up wall plateauing a warehouse. Doesn't seem impossible. I've been seeing some strategies, some habits emerge in my play. I like this formation for placing multiple of these sand pits in close proximity to each other. Seaweed pack. I suppose I'll also keep that centered around here. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me adjust my audio settings. Okay, audio has been configured. So, fortune teller is definitely still going to be going up in value. I think I want to place that and a seaweed farm over here to maybe triple dip, or at least double. And yeah, I'll go with that. And then I feel like placing the wall plateau this early would be a huge mistake, so I have to do 2 buildings. And I'm going to go right here on the premise that it is close enough to the left that if I end up with a warehouse like here, I might still detect it, but far enough right that additional sandpits to the right will be able to grab it and not hit my existing sandpits. So, just barely to their right. Okay, average city pack. I will start off with city center, and then, you know what, actually, does this not just create more double adjacency space? feel like this might have been like a fundamental error in my Islanders play for all this time. Because normally I would have both sides where I could have full contact, and then either end I would have partial contact. But now I have full contact. I'm not actually confident anymore. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this or placing them straight side to side creates more opportunities for double mansioning. Perhaps a little bit of an offset, like this. Where you can go like this. Well, I'll place that, and I think I'll try to hold my houses and mansions for the moment, because I can get a high value sand pit. That's a pretty good 18. And then 2 seaweed fields would do it, or I could place 1 mansion. Let's place 1 mansion over on this side. And just to double check that that can tuck in. Yeah. Oh, that's actually not enough points. Okay, well, if I have to do 1 of each anyway, then this is definitely the distribution. And, oh, I guess brewing. Okay, cool. Second city center early. The question is, do I hold that in case I get friendly, or whatever it's called, personable, which is a 40-point swing if I do. I need to get 54 points without it. I think with the second seaweed field I actually do. It is interesting. These changes do seem to, the changes in the new version, I mean, they do seem to increase the role that random chance plays in your score. Which there was always a significant random factor, but this does seem even more significant. So twice my most valuable buildings score, 50% boosted each time, or a terrace. Already having a wall plateau, and like flattening out this section, for example, does seem valuable, but I actually feel drawn to the score multiplier in this case. I think this will be like 100 points, and well, terraces do score as well. Like the terrace itself will probably be 40. Take the terrace. It's already 12. I mean, that's something. Okay, so if I want to avoid placing the city center, that's going to take a lot of the rest of my buildings. We'll see if that's possible. So I'd love to get more boons. Once again, try and get the friendliness bonus, whatever it's called. I think getting those extra +4 points is not worth being that far away. And now I have 2 bonus city centers. You still build the mason first, though. So let's mason on this side of the city. Yep. And then I'm going to try not to place a city center at least 1 more round. $17 there. Then I guess I'll want to be here. So let's just start building the fields down this slope. And then I come to a difficult breakpoint. Placing the brewery already does seem like a notable point deduction. But it is only 1 point per field. Yeah, I guess I just go ahead and do 1 field and then brewery. It's only 1 point minus per field, maybe like 5 or 6 points net over the course of the island. Second brickyard is good, because I have so many sand pits already. Surprising to me that I can't quite get out of that reach, but I could do a double over here for 14, or just stack them up. I think we stack them up. Lighthouse can be 41 points. I think individual score is going to be worth a lot right now, while I'm still trying to avoid placing more city buildings. I'll need to place maybe a couple mansions. Unless I place the terrace already, but I feel like I am probably going to hold off on that. So that's 10 points per city center. The city center does not score off the terrace. Okay, so city center before terrace, city center before house and mansions. Everything's dependent on the city centers getting placed. If I build this direction, maybe I won't really penalize myself for placing now, since my other city center will be on this side. I don't love either of these. I think the mill is worth more than the lumberyard. I mean, I have so much space, I guess I will take farming. Let me see what my boons are. Bargain and neighborly. So neighborly is literally what I was waiting for. It's a 40-point swing. Bargain, however, does let me duplicate my fortune teller. And unfortunately, I do think that's worth more. Okay, I realized that my nightlight was turning on, so my screen was darkening. I have corrected that now. Okay, so I have 2 bargains and a wall platform. I think the bargains copying a high point value fortune teller is just going to be difficult to surpass. Okay, and knowing that, literally having the option to cancel the city center and not means I should probably just go ahead and place at least one of these. I think just taking -80 is going to be too much for me, but so when and where do I place this? I mean, I guess out here is interesting. Like, if I place this -16 and then a different -16 over here, that's probably okay. It's going to take a lot of points to dig me out of this, though. Maybe I can't eat both minuses. I guess let's just do one. I'm trying to put those, okay, one width apart. Yeah, I guess I'll do that, and for the moment at least hold this city center. At some point I might end up doing like that terrace, which if I'm going to do it, I should do it before anything else. If I'm going to build the terrace, I need to build the city center. We come back to the same issue. Okay. So, terrace has a huge detection radius. Where specifically I put the city center does not seem to much matter. I do think if I'm going to be building that much in that direction, that I should alter my initial placement here and instead put that one there. And then we'll build just a 19-pointer down here on the beach. Something like that. And this can be a 40. And I can literally bring it in until it like touches. Get a little bit of height on it. I'd like if it was lower. I did manage at least once to place it, yeah, at like this height. Let's see how well I can do that. Not flat enough. I bet it's possible. I bet that if I get it down at this level of clipping, I'll be able to place buildings across it onto the ground. Yeah. Yeah, that's powerful. Okay. This I feel good about. And then I have a 29, which is a really good mansion. And more good double seaweed fields down here. Another city center. Brutal. Okay, well. The shaman gets -10, the city center gets -5. Yeah, so shaman first, as I recall. I also don't have to even take a negative. I could just build the shaman for its own sake somewhere down here. Or this is a very like house leaning placement. Like only houses that I place up here will really benefit. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. I guess let's try that. And then mill's gonna be kind of annoying no matter what I do with it. I think I actually build city though. Like I think at this point I have constructed enough of a score boosting zone to justify. Oh. Okay, yeah, 30-point mansion. That's a thing of beauty. They're not all going to be that good. In fact, none of them may be that good, but even a 20, even a 17, these are pretty good. Very much worth this investment. New boon, who dis? Shrink building or reroll. I don't know if reroll lets me reroll building choices. Or, sorry, not building choices, boon choices. Because the building choices I don't especially care about because I'm going to get them all. So, I guess I'll take shrink. Fountain. Fortune teller's up to 69 points. I'm definitely not growing my stored buildings as quickly as I might have imagined. But I was doing a lot of prep work and taking a lot of negatives for the purpose of getting ready for some of these higher scoring behaviors that I'm only now able to indulge in. A lot of double dips, but not a lot of bigger than that. I don't think it's already house time, but I am, I guess, a little disappointed that my mansions have not remained higher value for longer. 24 is good. I guess we'll take this 11 and then need a small mansion there. Or I could... Yeah, it's an investment, but I think that is okay. And then let's take a 20. Trying to see if I can fit 3 through here. I don't think so. I think I need to go like here. Yeah. Hopefully that'll work. So then I can go... Yes. Huge drop-in of buildings is kind of satisfying. Okay. Continue scoring that. Seems good. Yeah, I was a little worried about this. So because the center is so tall and centered, shrink wall bargain. Okay, I can't place the fissure touching it, so I can only grab some of this ground stuff. That said, with the fissure, it probably is time to place this city center. If it's going to be wall o'clock too, I can just place that, and then the minus 11 is intriguing. Because if I can get... minus 11 feels like it can be overcome. Feels like I could... I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be worth it. Maybe this is more the play. And then that can be tagged by a fissure, and also could definitely end up mattering for houses and huts. Yeah, let's try that. Try it this way. Now, what are some high-value buildings I want to build now? I'm going to hold on to the wheat field in the hopes that I'm getting close to fortune teller time. And I just don't think the low points of the field are going to bring me over the line. I should have held on to those first ones as well, but I did benefit from them. Here we get a stellar boon. Score multiplier or blossom. So I can blossom all these trees here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's 26 points. And all of a sudden they count as flowers. I think the score multiplier is worth significantly more, actually. And then let's add a pyre. 6 buildings drop in. Goes up to 72. That's pretty good. The pyre is kind of fun. I played with it in one previous building. Basically, you just need to place it so that all these different structures, primarily other pyres and city centers, are within its sight, but far away from it. So like, see out here, I am, all those are in my detection radius, but just barely. And that's very valuable, that's what you want. There's also probably a decent one out here. Yeah, 56. 54. I mean, that seems pretty darn good. And then the next one will score points based on distance to their pyre as well. Okay. 56 for that. Definitely fewer than 6 buildings to make it around, given that I got 56 just from that one. And then you can get an 18 rather than clustering up. That seems probably fine. I love that this can still tag both. I was concerned that it wasn't going to. Yeah, let's do it like that. Park. 6 more buildings, including a second pyre just immediately. That is really juicy. So I got 60 right there, or 50 right here. I like this. I mean, these pyres seem pretty sweet. Hell yeah. Last boon, and I could end the demo whenever. Neighborly. Neighborly has to be the play. Sustainable's like fine, but it's not the same. Okay, so now I need to focus on value maxing my fortune teller, because now my draws have slowed down. So I need to fortune teller fairly soon before the paused draw situation gets out of control. And I have building shrinking, I have score multiplier, so I'm going to use the score multiplier on probably the fortune teller. I haven't seen anything else that scores as large as that. So 38. I like completing this in one placement. I actually might want to go here. Leave a little room there for a mansion to nestle up in like that. Okay, so 38 is the threshold. Yeah, I'll take 38. And I even left a little space out there. Love it. 5 buildings. Okay, so now am I going to get another loop around in fewer than 5 buildings? I imagine so. Let me see what I can get from a plateau. So many of these placements would have been legal back in my day. In the OG Islanders. Like this? Come on, I'm just clipping through another plateau type. That shouldn't matter. I wonder if shrinking the plateau... This seems dumb, but I am curious. Oh man, is that... I don't... It doesn't feel right. But I mean, 60 points is 60 points. Because literally the whole value of the plateau is that it's big and you can create more ground with it, but that's not actually what I need right now. 60 points. I just have to shrink it, otherwise I can't. Oh. Well, in that case, I'm definitely going to place it. 60 is just too many points to pass up, especially given that it now boosts other structures that I build in here. Like a 29 point, come on. I think that's probably just our next build. My only question is, do I build one park first? Our parks have gotten pretty good too. Or do I want to use the parks for the resort oasis? Set that strategy up and just pack this area in. Well, let's start with the mansion. Look at how much it's clipped over there, too. Don't know what allowed that. Okay, up to 99. 5 draws still. And I almost got another boon, which is wild. So if I can make all the way around in fewer than 5 buildings. 100 points. So is my average building placement going to be worth more than 20 points, is the question. So my huts are 27. So I could just place 4 huts, and then that is net 1 loop, 1 building. Just like plus 3 points, you know, not a ton. Can also take some 21, 14, 19. There are acceptable mansions around here. They're not blowing me away, I will say. But I guess let's go ahead and get that boon and see how that changes things. Now I can undo that building and still see the boon. I got the tech. Reroll does not seem super relevant. Grow the score area of the next building you place by 50%. Okay. Drawing 5 buildings. So if I can... I'm like right on the line of if I push forward 1 more round. So I push forward 1 more round of building placement and then unlock some really large buildings, large point value buildings. That might get me another 6 or 8 points, and I'm going to place 3 fortune tellers back to back to back. So I think I do push 1 more round. So I just need to do this in 4 or 5 buildings. Preferably 4. Although I will say that square mansion doesn't actually, you know, being only 20 points is not serving that hopefully 4 goal of mine. So I would need to get 25 points per building. It doesn't look like the Fishers are going to do that, so I guess it's on houses. That's what I've been kind of putting off. I haven't placed a single house yet, but I could easily get an average of 25 points over several houses, I think. So let's do that. Dang, I thought for sure that would work. Oh well. There we go. So now I get more buildings. And this will give me 5 buildings. Oh, another pyre is really good. Yeah, okay, so see, I think this is going to be worth it. Because now I'll make it in 2 and I'll get 3 more buildings. So I'm really going to crank up these fortune teller points. 57 on the ground. 41. What a cool building. That's interesting. And I could cancel that -7. I'm not really sure it's worth it, but I guess let's not bother with it for right now. Just take 57. Looking at my boons. Another boon pack? Ugh. Okay. Shrink, score multiplier. So, bargain and score multiplier are going to be used on the same thing. Add a statue. Okay. And I have 1 more boon incoming. Okay. So... do I just use it down here to beef up all these buildings? My ongoing industry construction? I don't feel like eating the negative is worth it. I think I do... just place it, like, here. I know it feels kind of random, but I think my fields, my lumber, A lot of things could end up touching here. Okay, and then just a couple more high point value buildings. Preferably one. I'd love to get a 25 pointer. 26 will do. Four buildings. Okay, now will I make it around in 4? It's going to be 33. I don't want to place the tower yet. The fissures aren't great. Like just past 20. I can get 30 points from one of these. I think I can make it around in 4. And I'm also going to get a boon, so I guess we keep going. Just everything's hinging on when I pop these fortune tellers, but I do think my logic holds, and I should keep going as far as I can until I see it hit that inflection flip point. Yeah, I mean, we just have to take 30s. Like, we're not in the business of turning down a 31-point building. Undo that last one. Look at the boon. Verdure. Cluster of trees, flowers, or fish. That just doesn't inspire me. Yeah, I guess I will take 26 points. Yeah, that's what it is. I don't know if that's... I mean, it's not a good boon, you know. But it does let me carry more buildings into this next scoring phase. That's worth something. Can I do this in one house? Yeah, pretty easily. Okay. Um, 23? Or this 23 that might leave a little hook in there for a small house? Current draw is still 4. Okay, now I don't think I'm going to get a full loop in 4 buildings. So it's time to place my fortune teller. And this first one is probably going to be worth the most. Actually, you know what? The 50% score boost. This is silly, but after I place this, I'm going to get 2 copies of it. So I'm going to have 1 additional building. So I actually should 50% boost this one and then my next placement. And my next placement can be the really good spot right there. This one will just be the pretty good spot right here. Okay, so score multiplier. Fortune teller, 189. Because each, like, yes, I can place a mansion and get 1 more point on this fortune teller, but it gets 3 points because I'm holding the mansion. So that's pretty big. I think this is a very high scoring strategy. Like, I think getting the boons, being on this astral island or whatever it's called, is going to be a huge gain. Ugh. Oh, wait a minute. Oh. Okay. This is okay. That's legal. Yeah. And then I just dupe it again. Wow. I mean, geez, yeah, this is absolutely popping off. $216 points. By far the most points I've seen for a building in new shores so far. Do I get double? Hey! And that's going to make these two worth at least some additional points. They're trying to hold me down. They're trying to limit what I take, only giving me 2 draws, but you can't stop me. Okay, and then I place my next one, and I don't have any score multipliers anymore. And I don't think this is the building to increase the area on. But I will still just take a 136. I mean, that does seem like a pretty good score. Alternately, there's a 16, and I can take this spot for like a 137. I saw a 140 around here. That's pretty wild, too. Do I still have a wall plateau, too. I should keep that in mind. Well... I guess I'm gonna click on this. Oh, dang it. It drops me an item, so I missed out on 3 points on both my previous fortune tellers. Now, obviously, it's just 6 points, you know, it's not sort of a make or break amount, but every point does matter. Every time that you're like 1 score short and have to place an additional building, that can be a big change. So, yeah, it's unideal, but it happens. I am still learning. Like a lot of these places just don't especially appeal to me as potential building zones. I guess I should look at... I don't have markets yet. I just don't even have the market. That's pretty wild. Because I might end up needing the wall plateau like here. And if I'm placing it there, the fortune teller might end up on it. I mean, all this to say, I've done all this thinking and looking, and it's still probably just that 140 right there. 123, 137. Woof. That's a lot of points. 148? Huh. Maybe I should have looked around more before placing these. Alright, well, let's take that. This will be 2 rounds of building unlocks as well. Look at all this crap I got now. Mark it. And then give me a hermitage. Oh. Okay, 1 point short. That's kind of funny. Still probably just fortune teller. So I have a 143 up here. I'm probably gonna take the 142. That's a little more out of the way. Or a 141 that is completely out of the way. I mean, 141 feels pretty good. Feels like that's probably a fair rate. Yeah. Let's just do that. So this will be 2 rounds of buildings. Oh, you know what? I get a current draw of 2, and I can get it in 1 building placement. So this actually is net positive for me, just to slap some random small building down. Then I'll draw 2, and then I'll place this, and it'll be +3. 44. Every point matters. Every point matters. Alright, so with these 4... like 200 to 150 point fortune tellers, I think we are redefining score technology for the demo at least. Take the wall. Okay, so I don't have any of those. Oh, I'm glad there's a confirmation. Okay, so I don't have any of the ignored industries. I just have neighborly, shrink, and radius. So, wow. I'm in a very different spot than when I started that scoring spree. So a shrunken market up here is probably going to be the play. And my circus, and currently I'm sort of only just now building houses, but I think the circus is probably going to end up out here, or maybe shrunken up here. So let's place some more. Let's just place mansions. They have a small detection radius. I have a lot of buildings here. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with them. Let me just confirm where a shrunken market will fit. So if the answer is nowhere, okay, so actually I have to use my wall plateau for this, which means that my warehouse... Okay, interesting. So neither of these are going to be used by the market. And I think it's unlikely the circus actually ends up there. It is possible. But let's get back into placement. Some of these pretty good point value mansions. I saw that 20. I knew that was possible. Is it not then better to find some other decent place to put this small one, since it is a small mansion? And then this larger one can go right here for 20-ish points. I saw a bunch of... Yeah, take a 21. A 16, and I'm gonna wait for a smaller mansion to fit in there, probably just a 15. I have 5 mansions left, wow. Successful run so far. I am already only getting 1 building, so I'm gonna be depleting my reserves pretty quickly, but that is a mark of success. They have tried to take everything from me to slow me down. Wall platform, plateau, lumberjack, sawmill. There's a lot of stuff going on here. If I get like a shaman or something, it might end up back here. What is not going to get any better of my buildings? Maybe the fishers? The huts? Like, I would need to get more city centers, and I already have 4. So yeah, maybe if I want to grab a couple more of these 31ers. 31 feels like a perfectly valid target there. Then alright, let me try the shrunken plateau option. The shrunken plateau gambit. It's a powerful tactic. 64 is a lot of points. Or there's like a 60 and a 52 that leave a little more space to play with. Yeah, let's take a 60. Even at the cost of a shrink, that still feels probably pretty good. A a single fish kite. Let's start building towards this big market. So the big market's going to go here on a wall plateau. Can I go ahead and place the wall plateau? Yeah, seems like it. So I think I do want it right there, right? And then, nope. So get it as high up as possible, but still placeable. Might just take a few shots to actually get this correct. I guess let's see if I can even... Okay, so I might have to shrink. I'd have to shrink the market, which I don't love, but I don't hate either. It's not a big deal in either direction. So it doesn't really seem like I have a lot of control here. That will not require shrinking. And that is getting most everything. Okay, so if that's happening, then this is going to end up down here. And I'd love to be able to grab at least one fisher into it. So let's take a 20-point fisher there. We can do a 21-point lumberjack. Haven't gotten a second lumberjack this whole game. No big deal. I feel like I might get a lumberjack this time. I don't know, something in my soul says don't place the sawmill yet. So I guess instead I'll look up here for some goofy small point value placement. I'd take a 15 if that was offered to me under different circumstances. Whatever. Take my one water plateau. Oh, now that I'm only getting one building, the concept of like holding for something else doesn't matter as much. I'm just not going to be drawing almost any buildings. So like, what are the odds that I get another lumberjack? Very low. I'm only getting one building per draw. So we can go ahead and just place things in their logical order. So yeah, Fisher is, at this point, it's like almost mathematically solvable, just because it's not, but because you're drawing relatively few buildings, it kind of has that same effect. Oh, I can't quite tag them both. Okay, so there's a 43 here, there's a 43 right here. So it's like an 8-point Fisher, or I don't think the 26 will get tagged. 26 is a good score, though. I think I just take the 26, and then the +9, because that Fisher is going to be... what's that top building? A mill or something? Fishers are 6 points. Okay. So this is actually a 15. There's also a 12 out here. There's another 15 just right there. Not a lot of fishing on this island, I will say. Okay, let's take a 17. 17's good enough. We take those. So now I have a 49 right here. and I think the market will touch that. No other industry buildings, right? Nothing else that I need to place ahead of this. Okay, so now we take our 49 and then we double check that the market is touching it. Yep. Every market placement up here easily scores it. Okay. So there's also so much to do. I wonder if this is the place to increase my range. Like 50% more is a lot, but so you want to use it for a building that has multiple detection parameters, I guess. If I don't use it on maybe the tavern? I haven't even placed most of my houses. I have 13 houses. Like, I'm going to cover this area and still have houses to place. If I increased this, it would be 18 points just on the nose right there, plus maybe some additional houses, versus increasing this would give me an additional 9 plus 6, 15. Okay. I guess let's just go ahead and take what feels like a known or given thing. 68. Good score. We take those. Okay. And now I only have shrink and neighborly. Okay. Wall platform. So see, those bargain locks just didn't ultimately affect me. Like, I was going to get all the buildings anyway, and maybe I would have picked the wall plateau a little earlier, or something of that effect, but it just doesn't feel very significant. Like it's a very significant cost. It definitely does not scare me off like I thought it would upon my initial evaluation. Okay. Where around here are you going to let me place this? Here's pretty good. Here would be some grain points. Don't think I need grain points, though. I guess that's... Like, it really needs to be right here. But I don't think I can wall plateau here, unfortunately. This is very silly, but I'm curious. You would almost never choose for a wall plateau to be smaller, but... Bah. Okay, well, since those kind of suck, I'm disinclined to actually place it there. I wonder if I shrink the circus, if it can fit. Right here. Right here, right here. Alright, well, let's fill this area with houses. There we go. That fits better. this awful shape. Ugh. Okay, well, knowing that shape is coming. You know what? I'm not going to negotiate with terrorists. I'm going to place that and then just take the bad shape over there, and then can still get high point value out of this one somewhere. I see some 20s. There might be like a 21 or 22, and I want to poke around a little bit. Yeah, 21. Just curious. That's 20, and the houses over here are also 20 versus Shrunken Circus right here is already 24. Is this the placement I want? I mean, I think it probably is the most valuable way to add houses. Like they're 20 points, and oh, the Shrunken House looks silly. Okay. Yeah, I think let's go ahead and place that wall plateau there. Just one pyre. Okay, well, joke's on you. That's worth quite a bit. Yup. 75 is good. It's nowhere near what I was getting for these fortune tellers, which is... It feels like that can't be intended. Like, it feels like the fortune tellers are over-tuned. But while they are available, I will certainly benefit from them. Full-size house. Terrible shape house. Another one. And another one. Wow. Don't know what I did to deserve this. They don't even interlock well with each other. I guess I just do that and leave a little... Yeah. I mean, that's not terrible, actually. Not ideal, but... Especially not when I'm earning one mansion per placement now. Okay, now shrink the circus. $36 points. There we go. Where are my remaining mansions going to go? Well, one's going to go right here. And as for the rest, well... Yeah, I can get 9 points down there pretty easily. Let's see if that blocks me. No? Okay, so that's another good placement. And I need 4 points now to get my next buildings. $20 is a lot. 20 feels like a good park value. I see 18 as well. 24. Nice. Get my one building. And extract 30 points from it. Definitely feels like, oh, I guess this is my first confirmation there are T-shaped water plateaus. Definitely feels like I'm being choked out of this island. Like I'm not going to be playing this for too much longer. But that's okay. When it comes to parks, 5 points per park and 5 points per... Okay, so either direction on the Hermitage is going to be the same score. I can't put these down here, so they're not going to help. So I guess I just go ahead and place Hermitage. Now I can get some high-value parks that touch it. Take my one field. This might be a shrinker as well. Or maybe I'll just take a 34. That feels pretty good, honestly. Given that I have not been getting very many parks, and I think they're doing more good down here. So, yeah, I've got a 21, 36 versus 34. Okay, I have created a slightly better spot. And one mansion for 15 points. Sure, there might be a better one, but I can already tell this island's not going to be a high score for me, unfortunately, so no need for me to be super fastidious in finishing things out. Still was a fun island to play, though. I think trying to, like, be as booned as possible did have some benefits, but also did not offset just the random how the island generated, what buildings you get given. Factors like that significantly influence your score, and there's nothing you can really do to set yourself up. I mean, obviously you can play around what you're given, but you can't get a can't play well enough to have any control over what buildings you're offered. See a bunch of 14s. There was a 17 there for a second. What is wall like defending? Temple, city center, warehouse, mansion. Yeah. I'd love to be able to just plop it in the middle somewhere, but... Oh, okay. There's something in here. 23... 26, but not placeable. 16, 28. I haven't gotten a second wall on any of the islands I've played. 23, why not? No, wrong. Neighborly. Kind of forgot about this possibility for neighborly, but I will take 29 points, especially since I am nearly run out of what I can build here. go on this island. And this last house, I think 17's pretty good. So yeah, unfortunately, even though I came into this with a lot of boon power, and I think I used it for effective result, sadly I just can't outscore my previous run. I think my previous run had better earlier islands and better boon progression, but still, I mean, 10,584 still gets you, you know, top 5. So it's a decent run, not quite good enough. Ta-da! Alright, 10,500 puts me in 4th place with this score, but not my best run. So thank you all for watching, hope you had a good time. I might be done with the demo for now. I've run it back a few times and I might do a few reloads, but overall I think it is in a fun, playable place. It's nice to just experiment with the islands and see the boons. I'll be curious to see what numbers get tweaked through the balancing process. But for right now, this has been Connor, this has been Islanders New Shores, and thank you very much for watching. See you here next time.